Today's Monday morning message. The theme is practice makes not perfect. Practice makes something else. So let's get started. Fill in the blanks in your mind. Whenever we hear this phrase, practice makes blank. What do you think? What comes to your mind? What pops up in our head? Practice makes blank. It always comes, practice makes perfect. We've been taught that practice makes perfect, practice makes perfect, practice makes perfect. Yes or no? True or false? Yes or yes? Yes, we've always been taught practice makes perfect. But in fact, is that the truth? Let's check it out. Is that actually the truth? Does practice make perfect? What if you practice incorrectly, or you don't have energy in your practice, or you don't put in good work in the way you practice? What if you practice poorly? Does that make perfect? I don't think so. And this theory was tested to me by my economics professor in college the first time, and he said practice makes perfect is a myth. It's not a true statement. You know what the truth is? Practice makes permanent. If you practice something consistently, regularly, you become permanent at it. It becomes permanent. It becomes an unconscious skill or ability if you practice something continuously. So practice makes permanent. It doesn't make perfect. Good practice makes you permanent in a good way. Bad practice makes you permanent in a bad way. So have you noticed that if somebody goes to the gym and they start lifting weights and they don't have good posture, that becomes permanent in them. The bad posture becomes permanent, and then they have to break that cycle and unlearn and then start relearning again. Same way with anything else. If you start learning an instrument and you practice imperfectly or poorly or not with energy, you're never going to get too perfect. It is always going to be the bad practice that's going to become permanent. So practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So the next time we are practicing, each practice we have to put in 100% in whatever you're doing, in whatever we're doing. Every practice has to be our 100% so that we can reach to a good level of permanence, not an undesirable level of permanence. And that, my friends, is the Monday morning message for this week. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Practice makes permanent. Practice doesn't make perfect. So next time you're practicing, each practice counts, and each practice, what you put in is what will start building. The wall will start building. Each practice is like a brick, and the way you place the brick, the way you put one brick on another, that's how the end wall, the permanent wall, is gonna look like. So each practice has to be one with full heart, with full energy, with full willingness, because practice makes permanent, not perfect. Mario, what do you think about practice makes permanent? And as a drummer, how important is this statement in your life?
I think that you made a really valid point with the practice makes permanent, because as a drummer, I see perfection as a concept. So I don't see it as, I've been drumming for over 20 years, but I have so much more to learn. You're never done learning. So there's so much knowledge that's out there that when you go, for me, I go into my basement. I'm in my basement studio here. Every time I practice, I go in with a concept. What am I doing today? What am I going to be practicing? Because sometimes you just you're eager to play. And, a lot of people, when they're first starting off, they're eager to, I want to be fast. I want to play crazy. As a session drummer, it's actually the opposite. Most session drummers that are getting hired to play very simple stuff. So as a drummer, if you skip over that in your practice and you're only going to be that one dude that's being really, really flashy, everyone loves a good drummer, a really, really good, an exceptional drummer. But when you kind of hold on to the idea of perfectionism as a concept instead of you pushing every day to be perfect, you wind up finding a lot more, and that's where you really establish a connection with the instrument rather than just, trying to be perfect everything. I like actually playing some stuff sloppy because it actually gives, even more of a, you know, of a feel to it, you know?
A charm. Yeah, it's a
Exactly.
different kind of charm. Yeah.
Imperfections on drums, you know, there's so many, you know, there's so many ways that you're not supposed to play drums, and drummers do, you know, because it sounds cool. It sounds good. You know, I play on the rims a lot. You know, I play, you know, I try and play on, like, you know, even the stems on the hi-hat over here, you know, I'll hit this if it sounds cool, you know, and if I hit it, if I don't mean to hit it, that's where the improvisation comes in. And, you know, honing in on it also a really, a skill that you don't really practice it more in the heat of the moment. You just kind of feel it, you know, and you just go at it, and you're in the groove, you know. You kind of just get lost. You
I
become
love
one
that.
with it, you know?
I love that.
Yeah,
And so that's the power of putting in willingness and effort and that consciousness in every practice that you do. That's what, you know, gives you the long run results, as opposed to just going in with a dream mind saying, okay, I'm going to practice anyhow and hoping I'll be perfect one day. Yeah.
oh yeah, you know, and that's not to say don't challenge yourself either, you know, because you want to challenge. Like at a young age, I grew up on Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and Gwen Stefani from my mom, you know. So I grew up with my, you know, rock and metal side, then my mom's pop, you know, pop punk emo side, you know. So
Correct.
those kind of clash together. But when I was younger, I would always hear these, you know, great bands like Dream Theater. It's a crazy band, you know, that they have a lot of, they're all virtuosos at their instrument. And me at 13 years old, hearing them for the first time, I was like, oh, I got to play that. But the gap between me and Portnoy was like through the roof, you know. But you know what? If I didn't attempt to play it, I wouldn't have learned what I learned back then, and it wouldn't have made me in the drummer I am today. You always have to take those challenges and push yourself, not to be perfect, you know, but to be exceptional at what you do. You know, you should always have that mindset of growth. Growth is more important than being perfect. If you go into the basement and you come out, you know, there's been days where I've thrown my sticks out of anger. You know, I'm like, I didn't learn anything. You know, I didn't get better today. Tomorrow's another day. Go in with a clear mind, you know, and then hop right back to it and be focused when you come down here, you know.
Ooh. Wow. Mario, brother, you are fast, man. You're fast like a road runner. Oh my God. That was awesome. That was hype. That was hype.
Awesome. I'm glad you liked it, man. Thank you.
Brother, I can only see the amount of hours, the amount of sections, and the amount of years. You said 20 years. The amount of practice you've put in to play that 1 minute, you know, just for that 1 minute, the amount of practice that's gone in.
Oh yeah.
Too phenomenal, man. That coordination, that swiftness.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's a, you know, it's like a, you have to think of it like a job. You know, you clock in, clock out. As long as you get like any amount, drummers, we could practice all day. You know, we have our legs, we have the walls, we have the floor, we got everything. You know, we have the air. You know, so there's really an endless amount of hours that you could put into practice. You know.
That's amazing. Mario, once again, thank you so much. And namaste from my side to yours. Have a great Sunday evening. And thanks so much for joining us here on Monday Morning Message all the way from New Jersey and energizing us with your amazing drumming.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Have a good one, Mario.
You as well, man. I'll see you guys soon.
Guys, what a Monday morning message. Practice makes permanent, not perfect. And then we had Mario join with us. Mario, a session drummer all the way from New Jersey. Man, Mario energized us with his drumming so much and gave us insights about what he thinks about practice, being a drummer who's been practicing for 20 years. Guys, I'm energized with all that cool vibrations from the drums. I hope you are too. Let's have an awesome week. This week, focus on how we practice, because practice makes permanent, and the quality of our practice will determine the quality of the result of when we become unconscious about our ability and skill. So put in good energy and focus in your practice. In whatever you do, doesn't matter whether it's instrument, whether it's work, whether it's learning a new course or programming. Much love, guys. Practice makes permanent, not perfect. Monday morning message for this week. I will see you same time, same location next week. Cheers. Until then.